President Tinubu approves adoption of National Carbon Market Framework to manage Nigeria's participation in carbon markets. House of Representatives investigates excessive deduction of taxes and sundry charges from earnings of civil and public servants. Court bars INEC from recognizing outcome of PDP planned 2025 National Convention. Hello and welcome to the news at 11 on NTA News24. I am Tessie Omeri. Ahead of the 30th session of the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Brazil, President Tinubu has approved the adoption of a national carbon market framework to establish and manage Nigeria's participation in carbon markets. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that this framework will enable Nigeria to unlock $3 billion annually in carbon finance within 10 years.
This is the second meeting of the National Council on Climate Change, and approvals followed a presentation by the National Council on Climate Change aimed at operationalizing the Climate Change Fund and the restoration of the agency to the budget line. President Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the meeting, said the approvals were part of measures to properly position Nigeria to leverage opportunities in the global carbon market and be more active in climate change ecosystem. The meeting is also setting the agenda for Nigeria ahead of the forthcoming 30th United Nations Climate Change Conference, scheduled for Belém, Brazil, to harness all the opportunities for financing climate-resilient projects and related interventions, particularly from the global carbon market.
Through the Renewed Hope agenda, this administration has placed strong emphasis on building a new economy for Nigeria, an economy that is green, just and people-centered. Nigeria stands ready to take its rightful place as a global leader in climate action, ensuring that our voice and our realities are heard and respected in international negotiations.
Nigeria is very, very excited, and we are very excited. It happened just before COP, and we're ready and channeled to move on to the next phase, and Nigeria is officially ready for business.
The Council expressed commitment to providing the technical leadership and coordination needed to translate Nigeria's climate goals into measurable results, as the nation is now eligible to access new rounds of climate finance from multilateral funds. From the State House, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has launched an investigation into excessive deduction of taxes and sundry charges from the earnings of civil and public servants. The House Ad Hoc Committee set up for the probe will also investigate multiple bank charges imposed on customers' accounts across the country. Lawmakers at an inaugural sitting said the investigation has become imperative, arising from numerous complaints received from civil servants and other citizens about inconsistencies in bank charges and tax deductions. The House of Representatives is assuring Nigerians that it will ensure that financial practices, whether in government or banking institutions, align with principles of justice and equity.
Be able to pay their household, where are those money? That is why we are here. So we beg all agencies to cooperate with us.
These deductions have also denied a lot of Nigerians disposable income, causing more hardship to Nigerians. And this is why most Nigerians are crying out to the House to say, please look into these unlawful deductions.
So that at the end of the exercise, we will be able to see that the interests of our public and civil servants is well protected.
Still from the legislative arm of government, the House of Representatives is investigating causes in Lagos and other parts of the country that claimed lives and property of Nigerians to avert recurrence of similar incidents. Chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Safety, Standard and Regulation, David Idris Zakaria, led an investigative hearing with the Controller General of the Federal Fire Service, Olumode Samuel Adeyemi, in attendance. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed has more.
The House of Representatives is worried with the rate at which many parts of the country are experiencing fire outbreaks. The recent inferno in Lagos and other states prompted the need to investigate both remote and immediate causes of the outbreaks to guard against reoccurrence.
I will ask you to present to this House if you have your record of the incident that happened recently in Lagos State, the fire incident, that particular one. We want your record to present to this House. If you don't have it, you tell us.
Controller General of the Federal Fire Service, Olumode Samuel Adeyemi, attributes most of the causes to negligence, calling on the public to pass information in good time to the agency for prompt response to save lives and property.
With the reports we had, the fire started at the basement, and it started on the lithium battery, the battery they are using for the solar. And then we thank God for the intervention of Federal Fire Service, because our men were able to confine the fire to the basement.
The CG Fire Service advised Nigerians to adhere to safety measures such as switching off appliances, avoid holding inflammable substances, bush burning, and provision of fire extinguishers for safety. Other issues raised during the engagement include discipline, collaboration, and supply of modern equipment at state offices to achieve results. From the National Assembly, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission from recognizing the outcome of the forthcoming 2025 National Convention of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, gave the order while delivering judgment in a suit challenging the legality of the convention. The court predicated its decision on the failure of PDP to comply with relevant conditions and laws for the conduct of such conventions. The court equally held that evidence from the electoral umpire and some of the respondents showed that congresses were not held in some states of the federation in breach of the law. It also held that the raising or the signing of notices and correspondences of the PDP by its national chairman without the national secretary violated the law and consequently made such notices and correspondences a nullity. Justice Omotosho held that the PDP failed to issue the mandatory 21 days notice of meetings and congresses to enable INEC carry out its mandatory duty of monitoring such meetings and congresses. In the light of this, the court restrained INEC from receiving, publishing, or recognizing the outcome of the convention slated for Ibadan until the law has been complied with. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party says it is appalled by the judgment of the Federal High Court's Abuja, presided over by Honorable Justice Kolawole Omotosho. PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Olugunagba, in a statement, explains that the judgment of the court does not vitiate its ability to proceed with the processes and activities towards the National Convention to elect new national officers to pilot the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. It notes Further, that the recent judgment of the Supreme Court affirms the supremacy of a political party in the management of its internal affairs. The PDP, therefore, charges its members, chapter and organs to remain steadfast and focused on preparations towards the holding of the National Convention of the party. Nevertheless, the statement emphasizes that in PDP's commitment to the rule of law, it has accordingly directed its lawyers to take immediate action to appeal the judgment in its unwavering determination to uphold, defend, and promote multi-party democracy in the country. Zoning political offices in Nigeria is a practice aimed at ensuring regional balance and inclusivity. It remains a deeply debated issue against the backdrop of competence. Steve Lonai Nwakolo is examining this issue with some political pundits.
Into this issue, these respondents argue that it promotes unity and gives all zones a sense of belonging in governance. However, critics contend that zoning often sacrifices merit and competence, thereby allowing less qualified candidates to emerge based on geography rather than capacity.
Zoning for me is not a bad thing. Whether you zone or not, there are competent people in all the zones. Parties should look more at what yardstick they have for measuring competence.
Zoning is to reduce the tension. It is very nice, but you cannot throw away competence. You cannot. It doesn't work like that. Rather, those people that are at the position to bring the presidency must look inward and bring out a very competent and sound person for the entire country. Yes. That is why we have maintained zoning, and that was why we gave a candidate to Anambra South.
As Nigeria faces complex economic and social challenges, many citizens are calling for a shift from identity-based politics towards competence-driven leadership in Onitsha. Steve Lonai Nwakolo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Armed Forces have held a colorful pulling out parade in honor of the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, marking the end of an illustrious military career spanning nearly 4 decades. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa captured the event at the Mogadishu cantonment in Abuja.
Left, right, left, right. The rhythm of the parade and the tone of the combined military band setting the tone for the solemn yet celebratory occasion. Serving and retired service chiefs, family members, friends and well-wishers gathered to witness the symbolic and sacred military tradition marking the end of a distinguished career of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. His journey began precisely 39 years and 4 months ago, rising through the ranks to the pinnacle of his career as a 4-star general and the nation's defense chief. During his 2 years in office, General Musa spearheaded decisive military operations that led to the surrender of more than 90,000 terrorists and their families, depleted the Lakura terrorist group and dismantled several criminal networks across the country. In his valedictory speech, General Musa described his exit as a moment of fulfillment, urging the nation's gallant troops to remain steadfast, reminding them that defeat is temporary, but victory is certain and binding.
As I hang my uniform today, I do so with a clear conscience, knowing that I gave my all. I live with cherished memories of camaraderie, of battles fought, and of triumphs celebrated as one family. The sound of the bugle might change for me, but the soldier's heart beats on forever.
Is the end of an era for the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, born in 1967 and joined the NDA in 1986 as a member of the 18th Regular Corps. From the Mogadishu cantonment here in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Many thanks, Ismail. You're watching the news at 11 on NTA News 24. We're now going to break. More reports when we return. Do stay with us.
Baffy Furniture's legendary final sale of the year is here. This festive season, enjoy extra savings on luxury and comfortable sofa sets, modern and functional dining sets, sophisticated and smart bed sets, and our royal collections. Classy, premium, and truly exclusive. Shop 10 million Naira and receive a complimentary Daisy tea set. Spend 15 million and take home a 65-inch smart TV. Go higher at 20 million and experience unmatched comfort with our exclusive massage chair. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online. It's big, it's bold, it's unforgettable. It's Baffy Furniture's legendary final sale of the year.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to the only tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the federal government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness, great quality, and great taste. So eat healthy to live longer. Use Arisco tomato paste and products. 100% natural tomato. Better food now. Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount. Arisco tomato paste, taste of
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African Road.
This is NTA News24.
Thank you for staying tuned. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma says that democracy and good governance are the permanent panacea to the security challenges besieging African nations. Delivering a keynote lecture at the National Institute for Security Studies, he insisted that when good governance thrives, the conditions that encourage insecurity will diminish. Dennis Adegunloye has more.
In his lecture to the participants of Executive Intelligence Management Course 18 at the National Institute for Security Studies, Governor Uzodimma urged African leaders to adopt the model of good governance practices as being demonstrated by the President Bola Tinubu administration, which he said have significantly reduced the disruptive activities of non-state actors in the country. He explained that the model involves the government not leaving any void for non-state actors to exploit and unleash havoc on African nations. Uzodimma, speaking on the theme, non-state actors and entrepreneurship development in Africa, challenges, responses, and the way forward, noted that African leaders must embrace democracy and good governance to defeat insecurity.
The relationship between government and the governed is defined and determined by performance. So when the people see, they believe, and when they believe, they follow.
He said President Tinubu had long discovered the strategy that is resulting in the progress Nigeria is making in combating insurgency and banditry.
When this current president announced subsidy removal, it was not an easy decision. That subsidy came with its pains, initial pains. But today, you can see how the thing has resulted to more revenue to our people. I can tell you that all the serious subnational governments, none will now say they has no money to address at least the primary and the elementary problems of their states. So how to domesticate and grow an economy for this continent should be what we should focus on.
Piara calls on the intelligence community to brace up to the security challenges by understanding that security is inseparable from governance, economic opportunity, and justice. The ceremony was attended by intelligence chiefs from different parts of Africa. In Abuja, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
The federal government is leveraging the use of modern technology alongside digital innovation in medical practice to address the challenge of brain drain in Nigeria's health sector. This was at the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare signed a memorandum of understanding with Ave Maria University, Pianco, to improve medical education in Nigeria in line with global best practices. Thomas Ogbetere has more.
Medical training equips healthcare professionals with knowledge, skills, and ethical values necessary for high-quality patient care through a lifelong process of formal education and development. This is why the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare is signing a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with Ave Maria University, Pianco, to train healthcare professionals to be able to compete favorably in the global market. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare urged medical practitioners to contribute to national development after completing their training.
One of the elements that we have seen is that is sometimes lacking is being patriotic to our country. The government spent, for example, a lot of money to train health workers in public universities. Most of the time, when we finish training them, before you know it, they leave the country. That is an investment of Nigeria that have taken somewhere else.
But if a doctor makes a mistake, it ends in the grave of the patient. So we are all very conscious of that. That was why we took time to ensure that all that was necessary to have the program to be approved by the NUC, and also to ensure that there's a place where these our students will do their clinical practice before they become doctors, were secured.
This partnership will expose Ave Maria University medical students to practical clinical experience at the Federal Medical Center, KEFI, a move geared towards improving their competence and strengthening Nigeria's medical education system to produce globally competitive healthcare professionals. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
Following President Bola Tinubu's directive to provide free health care for low-income pensioners under the contributory pension scheme, it is a new dawn for retirees, as a competent board of trustees has been inaugurated to oversee the pilot's pension industry healthcare initiative known as PenCare. Maria Adu-Zakari has details.
For years, many pensioners have had to choose between paying hospital bills and meeting daily needs. But that may soon change. This is as the National Pension Commission, in collaboration with licensed pension operators, are joining forces to fund free healthcare services for retirees across the country.
You know that to buy insulin to handle a diabetic pensioner costs almost 13,000 naira for a pensioner to buy an insulin.
At the initial stage, about 20,000 pensioners are expected to benefit from the scheme.
Members of this board have been carefully selected for their integrity, competence, and deep professional experience in the pension, health, and financial sectors.
Let's start with the pilot scheme, or perhaps phase one, so to speak. And the whole idea is to see, can we start with the most vulnerable?
The initiative will serve as a corporate social responsibility effort by both PENCOM and the licensed pension operators, aimed at supporting beneficiaries of the contributory pension scheme. The Board of Trustees have competence and integrity as guiding principles as they steer the affairs of the Pension Industry Healthcare Initiative, PenCare. Maria Adu-Zakari, NTA News.
This is the news at 11 on NTA News 24. A recap of our top stories. President Tinubu approves adoption of National Carbon Market Framework to manage Nigeria's participation in carbon markets. House of Representatives investigates excessive deduction of taxes and sundry charges from earnings of civil and public servants. Court bars INEC from recognizing outcome of PDP planned 2025 National Convention.
This is NTA News24.
Thank you for staying tuned. The National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRIA, has evolved strategies to help stakeholders maximize profit through waste to wealth. The recently launched National Waste Marketplace program is a testament. Mina Daniels tells us more.
Effective waste management has remained a recurrent issue, defying solutions in the waste management value chain. The National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRA, through technology, has broken the jinx. The recent launch of the National Waste Marketplace by the agency gives leverage to those in the waste management value chain to boom through waste to wealth.
Which prioritizes sustained inclusive growth, economic diversification, innovation and effective governance. The National Waste Marketplace program gives practical expression to these priorities by creating opportunities for green enterprise.
The federal government, through the Ministry of Environment, while appreciating NESRA's efforts, said the innovation is in tandem with the implementation framework of the National Policy on Solid Waste Management, the Extended Producer Responsibility, and the National Circular Economy Roadmap and other international environmental conventions, and called on stakeholders to take ownership.
As we advance towards a circular economy, it is essential to recognize the environmental protection is not only a regulatory obligation, but a driver of innovation and green growth.
Unlocking wealth from waste to create a greener environment.
We are committed to supporting the capacity building initiatives of the program and also getting those SMEs and businesses already in our network to participate fully.
A lot of countries are beginning to innovate. They are no longer seeing waste as something that is wasteful. Waste is becoming wealth.
The National Waste Marketplace system seeks to formalize the waste value chain, curb illegal disposal practices, and promote accountability in waste trading and recycling across the country. In Abuja, Mina Daniels, NTA News.
And that concludes the news at 11 on NTA News 24. Thank you for watching. Good night.